There are two main types of human nature that are discussed in chapter 16 of the Bhagwad Gita, the saintly and the demonic. Sri Krishna describes how one might grow into a person with saintly nature. He also shares how a soul can attain virtue by following the spiritual precepts and methods outlined in the scriptures. All of these actions bring about God's realization, which progressively imbues the person with godlike qualities. This is the process by which the soul is cleansed. Sri Krishna also provides an explanation of the demonic-natured person. He describes how such a soul is constantly attached to material possessions, becomes more and more entangled in attachment, and never achieves salvation. Sri Krishna speaks about people who have a divine nature in this chapter, and he advises against having a demonic nature and proposes to examine the demonic traits one might have and eliminate them eventually. How does a person develop divine or demonic qualities? According to Sri Krishna, when one is operating under the influence of ego, the qualities of passion and chaos are allowed to run amok. Passion and chaos, heedless and unawakened and undisciplined behavior turns people into having demonic qualities, threatens social harmony, and casts doubt on the unalienable sanctity of people, all other living things, and all of creation. All humans possess the three natures of passion, chaos, and harmony. Hence they all have the potential to either intensify their demonic tendencies under the influence of passion and chaos or become entirely divine under the influence of harmony. Sri Krishna describes that a person of demonic nature is someone whose only source of power is their lower ego. He also gave guidance on how to steer clear of this road to self-destruction. Chapter 16 ends up with a clear solution to how a person can steer to the highest possible divine expression of oneself. The traits of a person born under godly nature are fearlessness, a proper mix of spiritual work and study, pure temperament, self-control, scriptural study, sacrifice, generosity, straightforwardness, performing austerities, harmlessness, not getting angry, truth, renunciation of the fruit of action, not narrow-minded, tranquility, kindness towards all beings, gentleness, absence of greed, modesty, brilliance, giving up useless activity, forgiveness, cleanliness, patience, absence of pride and envy. Ungodly or demonic qualities. Humans of demonic nature tend to be hypocritical, proud, arrogant, overly self-confident, angry, harsh, and ignorant. Sri Krishna, after mentioning the aforementioned virtues, said that demonic qualities will bring one to servitude, whereas divine characteristics will lead one toward freedom. He asks Arjun not to be sad because he was born with wonderful qualities. This is done to reassure Arjun that the massive damage in which he must participate in the ensuing fight is not the work of the devil. Traits of demonic or ungodly individuals. Demonic or ungodly individuals lack morality, good judgment, and a sense of reality. They believe that there is no such thing as reality, that there is no spiritual foundation for the world, and that the only purpose of life is to experience a sense of pleasure. By adopting this worldview, people destroy their ability to be divine, and their ability to reason, and they turn into a strong force of violent, ferocious deeds and destruction in the world. People with demonic temperaments, soaked in hypocrisy, false dignity, and pride, turn to desires that can never be gratified in order to entertain wrong notions and perform impure behaviors. They are consumed by anxiety their entire lives and sincerely believe that loving sense objects will make them less anxious. They are constrained by countless bonds of hope, vulnerable to desire and rage, and engaged in accumulating wealth through dishonest means in order to satisfy their cravings. What are the effects of living in delusion and holding demonic qualities? People who are consumed by the pursuit of sensual pleasure and are overburdened by ego, power, pride, and rage despise the divine, who is within each and everybody. Such people continue to have birth in circumstances that heedlessly promote worldly life, fall from grace, and distance themselves even more from the divine. How to prevent taking the road of demonic nature? Greed, anger, and desire are the three main entrances to hell, aka living a life that feeds a demonic temperament. Therefore, One must reject these three internal thieves of the divine. By exerting mastery over these adversaries, one shifts to the higher good and eventually encounters the divine. Here's the definite formula for success. Sri Krishna concludes the chapter in the final 2 verses, stating that one who disregards the prescriptions of the religious texts, or in essence scriptures that teach one's religious duties, and obeys the urgings of his desire does not achieve perfection. Therefore, you must recognize the authority of the scriptures to determine what is right and wrong. It is appropriate that you act in accordance with what the scriptures command once you have learned about them. Those people who are perpetually consumed by their desires never find true happiness or Krishna. These souls are flawed. So in order to reach the Almighty, one must be immersed in the Supreme and be able to distinguish between right and wrong. One should be aware that the soul and Supreme are apart from the body. They have to practice righteous deeds and get absorbed in spiritual learning. If you liked watching this video, do not forget to share and subscribe to our channel.